here are the top 5 treacherous Muslim governments. Number 1, Egypt. This traitor here, Sisi, has actively worked to keep his armed forces from liberating Palestine and helping the people of Gaza. He has also been complicit in making sure that the people of Gaza have absolutely nowhere to seek refuge and has kept his border closed so that they cannot even flee to safety in the Sinai. At number 4, we have Turkey. Turkey, specifically Erdogan, he likes to talk the talk, but he has never done an action to actually help the Muslims of Palestine. Still, the oil continues to flow and help the occupiers. Not only that, but they also made sure that the occupiers do not get hungry whilst they continue their bombardment on Gaza by allowing tons of vegetables to be sent to these occupiers. At number 3, we have Saudi. Not only did they show their priorities in hosting a boxing event instead of hosting the Muslims of Gaza from fleeing a bombardment, but these people physically protected the occupying forces by shooting down a missile which was headed towards it. At number 4, we have Jordan. Not only have they been attacking their own population for going towards the West Bank border, but they are physically allowing the occupation to exist by granting permission to the US to send arms to the occupying entity through its own land. Last but certainly not least, we have Pakistan, who have granted their unequivocal moral support to the people of Palestine. As if the people of Palestine want the moral support of this government, and they are literally doing to Afghan refugees what the occupiers are doing to the Muslims of Palestine, which is removing millions of them from the land that they've been living on for decades. Not only that, but they sacked a police officer for wanting to go over and support the resistance in Gaza. If there's one thing which has become super clear over the last few weeks, it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has exposed the real line of defense of the occupying entity, and that is our own rulers. The Zionist entity is a shadow of the Muslim regimes. If these regimes fall, then the occupation will fall.
I shared this image yesterday in a bunch of other countries that we were calling their ambassadors from Israel. Most of them genuine. Chad, South Africa, Colombia, Bolivia, and Chile. And then the 2 other ones, how much is that, 5? Yeah, Jordan and Turkey are the most disingenuous ones. But let's focus on Turkey today. Turkey recalls ambassador from Israel, but Erdogan also says Israel needs to stop. I have an idea. Why don't you stop first? And what I mean by that is the pilots that have been bombing Gaza were trained, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but maybe I'm right, Konya, Turkey. So they were trained in Turkey. The fuel for their planes to bomb the people in Gaza comes from Iskenderun, Turkey. Again, I could be pronouncing that wrong, but that's not the point here. And the water and food that they use comes from Turkey. Interesting. So maybe you need to stop training them. Maybe you need to stop fueling them. And maybe you need to stop supplying them with their necessities so they don't bomb the people of Gaza. Enough already. Stop trying to play both sides. We see it. We're not dumb.
There is no leader in the Muslim world that has influenced the decisions that are being made to move the Muslim world to support the state of Israel more than this crown prince. He may not be taking the credit for it, but I can tell you, having met with him, he is, in fact, the key person that's leading. What I saw in the country under his leadership was astonishing. A total re-education program against anti-Semitism, including in the mosques, among the mullahs. They don't allow them to preach jihad and Jew hatred anymore. But in addition to that, I learned a lot when I was with the Crown Prince. He told me he understands Jewish people because his mother was Jewish. Now let me talk to you for a moment about Gulf state leaders. I've met with most of them. I've met with MBZ in the Emirates. I've met with MBS in Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince. And I can tell you something astonishing. These leaders are more pro-Israel than a lot of Jews. When I met with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, I said to him, what do you think of Jews and what do you think of Christians? I like them both. Tell me why. Because my mother was one. I said, what are you talking about? My father's house director, he said, who raised me, was an Ethiopian Jew evangelical. Wow. Now I can tell you this, in 2.5 hours, the stuff that I heard from the Crown Prince was so astonishing towards Israel that I had to brief the White House and the Prime Minister. Absolutely would blow your mind if you know what this man is thinking. He said on that one statement, I said, what can the Palestinians do? He said, oh, it's simple. They need to copy Israel. Copy Israel, that's all.
Talking about how we were suffering, how we couldn't live in peace. But now, we can't live in peace either. We are suffering even more. Me, a 13-year-old child, talking and asking for water, talking and asking for food. How am I supposed to live my life? I'm a child like every other child. People tell me my tears are gold. But I cry and I don't see anything. What am I supposed to do? I'm asking for help. I'm asking the Arab countries. I'm asking the Islamic countries. None of them are helping us. You saw that child. What did he do? What did the children do? Is it their fault for crying? Is it their fault for asking for help? We're children, like every other child. I'm not asking for your help. I'm asking for you to share. I'm asking for you to at least feel pity for us. I don't want you to feel sorrow for us. We're not piece of trash. We're humans. We have rights. We're alive pieces. It's unfair that you think of us as trash. We're stuck in here. This is not prison because we never did a crime. This is a small camp that we're stuck in and we can't get out. It's unfair. I'm a child and I now have trauma. And it's not like any other child trauma. I've seen people die. I've seen people die. Some of my family have been killed. Am I just supposed to watch this in peace? I don't understand. I was 10 back then, and now I'm 13.